Hi, my name is Belinda and I'm the training lady, and today I want to show you some tricks when dealing with the spacing between either a bullet or a numbered list. Now, I use these quite a lot in my content, especially in my training manuals, and so it really is important for you to understand the whole idea of spacing around those, and also the ability to add space between each individual bullet point or individual numbered lists. So what I've got here is we just want to have a look quickly at what paragraph spacing we already have, so that then we can identify the settings for those and then look at how we can add spacing individually between each bulleted point. So firstly, I've got a heading at the very top here, and if I click into that heading area, I am on the layout tab in Word, and you'll see that my first opening heading paragraph has 18 points of spacing before the paragraph and 12 points of spacing after it. So that's the gap between the heading and the first bullet point. Now I've then got a whole bunch of bullet points here. And if I go and click onto any of these bullet points, either individual items, or if I even highlighted the entire group, you'll notice that they actually have no spacing on them at the moment. So none before and none after. Now, what a lot of users tend to do here is they decide that they would like spacing between each individual bullet point. So they'd like the spacing between the first and the second bullet point to be increased, and so forth throughout the rest of the list. And what happens is that when you highlight one particular bullet point, for instance, and you try and add spacing before or after, nothing really happens. You can see here I've just added 6 points before and after, and there was no difference in the amount of spacing between those two first bullet points. And it doesn't matter how high you go. Yes, you can add it, and you can see now it's adding space before the first bullet point, but I'm not really then, it doesn't matter how big I make that after setting, there's no spacing being added in it. Now, the important thing that you want to remember with this is that when you add a bullet point list, that list is considered one object. So when we're trying to add paragraph spacing before and after, it's actually just applying the spacing before the entire block, and I could then have it added after the entire block of bullet points as well. So I'm just going to zero these back out, and I'm just going to click and type straight over the top of these just to make it a bit quicker. So what we're going to do here is we want to be able to add that individual spacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the entire set of bullet points. And if I try and add, again, spacing here, all it's adding is spacing above the bullet point block and below. So you can see that that bottom part especially is more visual. You can see that there's that highlighted area. But I want it individually between every single bullet point. So I'm going to set this to maybe 12 points before and after. But what I need to do here is there's a little extra setting that's hidden. It's not directly accessible through the ribbon here. Now we want to go into the paragraph settings. Now in the bottom right corner of this little group, you'll see a pop-out icon, and this is going to open up my paragraph settings. So if I click that, it opens up our little paragraph dialog box here. And you'll see here that here's my spacing settings, and again, before and after are both set to 12 point. Now, the culprit of why the spacing's not going between individual points is this little checkbox. You can see it says don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. Now, because all the bullet points are all the same style, it's not putting spaces between each individual bullet point. So if we uncheck that and then we click OK, you'll see that paragraph spacing is now applied to each individual bullet point. And now we've got some nice spacing between it. Now, the same thing happens if this was a numbered list. I could go and switch this over to a numbered list here, and now it maintains that spacing, so you don't need to redo it or anything. But if we had a numbered list in there by default, then we would have had the same effect. So I hope this helps and helps with the little frustration that can be caused by this particular extra little feature. If you've got any questions, please pop a comment below the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel as I continue to add some more content from my website onto YouTube, and the individual step-by-step instructions for this are also found on the website. So go to www.thetraininglady.com. Have a great day.